All right, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Abayi Butt from the DC Church, coming at you, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kadash. All right, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Bahashem meaning in the name, Rakah meaning spirit, Kadash meaning holy. All right, shalom, Salakia. Shen Yikabaga, Walla Rakah, acclaimed now by Ith, meaning double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS, all right, whom the Heavenly Father has enlisted the 100% truth to. And of course, Shalom wa Barakum Labakar Shiyasha Allah. Peace and blessings be upon the elect of the nation of Israel. To the men out there that are pushing the 100% truth and sincerity, to you I say Shalom wa Barakum Atham. So like I want to get this angle corrected. I had it earlier, but Satan, it's all good. Well, essentially what this epistle is going to encompass is Sirach, the 11th chapter. And I haven't come up with a title for it, because it kind of goes more into just, you know, the Lord has control over your finances. That's really what I wanted to name it, you know, and through the Spirit, that's what it may be named, if it be the Lord's will. But I just wanted to read a couple of precepts in the 11th chapter of Sirach, and, you know, just further expound and, you know, grow brothers' wisdom, or chachama, all right, or chachama, however you want to pronounce it. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 11. I'll start at 11, and I'm going to be skipping around a little bit. There's Ecclesiasticus chapter 11, verse 11. It says, there is one that laboreth and taketh pain, and maketh haste, and is so much the more behind, right? So what it means by, in my perception of what it means by maketh haste, is meaning, you know, basically being presumptuous and trying to take matters into your own hands. Time and time again, the Heavenly Father will show you that when you get into a situation, your first resort should be to pray. Your first resort should always be to come to the Heavenly Father. A lot of the times we feel like we could take it in our own hands in order to perform something to get us through a situation, but that's actually the opposite of what the Heavenly Father would has ordained for you to do. Every time you get into a situation, your first resort should be praying to the Heavenly Father, okay, and not making haste. And if you make haste, that puts you further behind. All right, so this Sirach chapter 2 verse 2, it says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Because what if you read, it says, and is so much more behind. So if you're making haste and you're being presumptuous and you're taking matters into your own hand, essentially you're not putting the Heavenly Father first, and that puts you behind. All right, so that's why it's always important for you to primate Yahweh Shem Shai in your life in order for you to grow exponentially. Okay, so verse 12, it says, again, there is one that is slow and hath need of help, wanting ability and full of poverty. Yet the eye of the Lord looked upon him for good and set him up from his low estate. So you have to understand that the estate that the Heavenly Father has you in, or I'll say the degree, however you want to put it, the position that you're in today could very well be changed tomorrow. It all matters about how you persevere. But you have to understand that the Heavenly Father said, he said, there is one that is slow and want to, it says, and hath need of help. Okay. And the Heavenly Father looks at you for you needing help. And he looks at that for good, man, because essentially when you need help, you have to go to the source, which the source is Yahweh Shem Shai. All right. If you're thirsty, if you're hungry, these are things that are wants. These are things that are needs. Salakia. You need food to sustain your body, and you need food and you need water to sustain your body also. All right. How much more your spiritual body? Your spiritual body needs food and it needs water. And when you're in need of those components, the Heavenly Father looks at you for good. And it says what? It says, yet the eye of the Lord looked upon him for good and set him up from his low estate. All right. So it's just about, as I stated before, those characteristics that you need to apply in order to get through those obstacles, in order to get through those trials. Okay. And it says what? It says, and lifted up his head from his misery. All right, and lifted up his head from misery. Okay, because a lot of the times, bro, we're in captivity. The scriptures say, much wisdom is grief. Okay, The more wisdom we acquire, the more grief we acquire, because the more grief we acquire, because we understand the state that we're in, and we understand that we have to wait for Yahweh Shai to be sent back in order for us to be put at peace again, man. All right. So, and especially to kick you while you're already down, we go through trials while we're here, man. All right. So, you know, not neglecting the fact that we're already in hell. There's more trial that comes with that, okay? Because now that we understand what state and what condition we're in as a people, but then the Heavenly Father persecutes us individually, you know, in order for us to be made noble, okay? And that's essentially what causes misery, man. These persecutions hurt, all right? The persecution, the affliction, it actually hurts, man. Because we're being refined. But what? It says, and the Lord, it says, and lifted up his head from misery, so that many that saw it marveled at him. Okay? And that's why when the Heavenly Father gives you that upliftment, and the Heavenly Father allows you to drop and fall super duper low, that factor of you getting back up, it brings a great joy, man. It brings a great it brings a great rejoice, man. All right, and that's just like the parable of the one sheep that the one sheep out of the 100 sheep that the shepherd had that fled, that the Heavenly Father brought back to the flock. You know, he's well pleased, man. A lot of times you fall, but at the same time, when you get back up, that's essentially what the Heavenly Father looks at as joyous, man. That's great. So I'm gonna keep reading, and you know, it's kind of getting to the point. It's gonna get to the point in the next verse. Verse 14, it says, poverty and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Heavenly Father. So we have to understand, and we have to grasp the knowledge that the Heavenly Father has power over our finances. Okay? So whether we be poor, whether we have more, whether we have little, whether we don't have at all, these are all things that come from the Heavenly Father. And these are all things that the Heavenly Father has power over. Okay? Now, sometimes, you know, Satan, you know, may get in the midst of your finances. You may lose hundreds, you know, thousands, maybe even thousands of dollars. But you have to understand that comes from the Heavenly Father, okay? Because he's the one that jurisdicts anything that goes on. He's the one that sends Satan to do that, okay? So you having an understanding of that, and you having an understanding that the Heavenly Father has power over the prosperity. The Heavenly Father has power over the riches. He has power over the poverty. You having that understanding allows you to pray to the man who's created that position that you're in, or has created that problem that you're in. You're able to access him in order for you to be delivered from it. Okay? And that's what the Heavenly Father is well pleased in. So it says, verse 15, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Heavenly Father. Love and the way of good works are from him. So in order for you to make that payment to get out of that situation, you have to apply that which you know is well pleasing to the Heavenly Father, which is brotherly love. Okay? And it says, and the way of good works, and our good works, which is what? Going out on the highways and hedges and making the epistles for your fellow Akim to be edified, man. In order for them to be substantiated. All right? Nothing's about just yourself. Okay? And that's something brothers really have to understand. Every time something happens, yes, it can be personal, but a lot of the times everything is encompassed in the body. Romans the 12th chapter, it tells you that we are all a part of each other, man. We are all a part of the body of Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay? So you take a fall, your brother takes a fall. Your brother takes a fall, you take a fall. Okay? But understand that all things are given and are coming and are founded by the Heavenly Father. Okay? So I keep reading. It says, verse 16, it says, error and darkness had their beginning together with sinners, and evil shall wax old with them that glory therein. Verse 17, the gift of the Lord remaineth with the godly, See, the gift of the Lord remaineth with the godly, and his favor bringeth prosperity forever. Okay? So if you just trust in the Heavenly Father, he's going to give you that prosperity. You know, I'm saying it to myself too. You know, brothers may struggle with getting a job. Brothers may struggle with getting, their finances corrected. Brothers may struggle with finance management. Brothers may struggle with, not having too much money or having too little bit of money, not knowing how to deal with money when it's given to you. You have to understand that all these things come from the Heavenly Father, and that's why it's also very important for us to continually pray, okay? And the scripture, actually, let me grab that real quick, because I read this the other day. I was like, wow. This is Ecclesiastic, Sirach chapter 7, verse 31. It says, fear the Lord and honor the priest, and give him his portion, as it is commanded thee, the first fruits and the trespass offerings, the gift of the shoulders, and the sacrifice of sanctification. And watch this, and the first fruits of the holy things. All right, which the first fruits of the holy things is your mind, okay, your prayer. You're always supposed to give that initial sacrifice and primate the Heavenly Father whenever any situation happens, praying continually, okay? And that goes even back to what I was reading in Sirach, the 11th chapter. It says, the gift of the Lord remaineth with the godly, and his favor bringeth prosperity. So the way you gain favor from the Heavenly Father is by drawing nigh unto him. The way that we draw nigh to the Heavenly Father is what? Prayer continually. Prayer without ceasing. All right? And that's essentially giving the first fruits of your holy things, man. It's your mind. All right? And that's essentially giving that your body as a living sacrifice. When you're able to give that your initial thought when you first wake up, when you do anything, I got to pray out by Shema Shai. This shows that you favor the Lord and that you're putting him primary in your life. Indeed, indeed, the Lord will turn over the situation that you're going through to prosperity. And that's essentially what we're going to get in the kingdom of heaven. All right. So I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to skip down to verse 22. It says, the blessing of the Lord is the reward the blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing to flourish. So you go from not having finances, not having a car, not having a job, not having a woman. But then the Heavenly Father said what? He give you that one blessing, and then you start to flourish, man. It's all a matter of time. Just like how Job went through it. Everything was taken from him. The Heavenly Father still provided for him. Although he faced boils, he lost his house, he lost his woman, he lost his cattle, he lost his children. All right, he probably even lost mobility, but things that allowed him to get from point A to point B. But the Heavenly Father did that all to see if he would still have faith. But then what? He gave him a blessing, and then it started to flourish like that, man. All right, so that's really what it's about. It's about trusting in the Heavenly Father through the dim and darkness of the trials, and then persevering through it, and then he's gonna make your blessing flourish, man. And essentially, we're gonna get that in the kingdom of heaven too. When the Heavenly Father allows our light to be shown, allows our wisdom to be shown, when we never gonna sin again. All right, because sin is essentially what gets us in the predicament in the first place. The scriptures say that he exacted thee less of what thine iniquity deserves, man. All right. So let me keep reading. Verse 23, it says, say not, what profit is there of my service, and what good thing shall I have hereafter? So you have to understand that the work that you put in, the Heavenly Father is not forgetful of that, man. All the deeds, all the thoughts, all the work that you've given to his service, to the Heavenly Father's work, the Heavenly Father's going to recompense you of it, man. All right. It may not be now, but the Heavenly Father is going to recompense you. Okay, and it's definitely going to be better than bi-weekly, man. You get paid bi-weekly on your job. You get paid weekly. The Heavenly Father can have it that you do one you do one good deed, and he bless you right then and there, man. And he allows that blessing to flourish. But it's all a matter of patience. It's all a matter of how much you trust the Heavenly Father. Okay, so it says, verse 24, again, say not, I have enough and possess many things, and what evil can come to me hereafter? In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity. So that's why the Heavenly Father allows us to fall so hard, so that you remember that affliction. Okay? The scriptures say this is not our place. In Salah, in 2nd Ezra chapter 7, scriptures say that this is not the place where much glory doth abide. All right? So the Heavenly Father is going to allow you to be afflicted for you to understand that this ain't the place for us, man. For you to get a grasp and a whiff of reality, man. Because what? It makes a better man out of you, and it makes better for his ministry. The things that come first all encompasses the Heavenly Father. All right? Because we're supposed to bless him with our first fruits. And then it says what? Verse 26, I think, I'm going to stop at 27. It says, for it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his works. Verse 27, the afflictions of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and his end, and in his end, Salah, and in his end, his deed shall be discovered. Let me see, I think I read over it. Poor man, rich. Salakia. Oh, I missed the cream of the crop, so to say. But that's the spirit that the Heavenly Father allowed me to skip over for right now. But I'm gonna go over that, and then I'm gonna read the last one. But essentially, the point still stands that the Heavenly Father has jurisdiction over our finances, man. And the Heavenly Father can allow it so that one day you be poor, and the next day you essentially, get all the gain, But you also have to understand that it's very imperative for you to pay your tithes, and number one, and number two, also to give alms. It's very, very, very important, man, because those alms are mended for broken heart, man. A brother may be really going through it. You don't know if you get that 60 that you were supposed to give, or that 20 that you were supposed to give, that could build the brother's faith, man. Could make him go even harder in the faith. That's why those alms really help, man. We all in this together, man. We all we have. And you have to understand that. We all that we have, man. So we have to cherish what the Heavenly Father has given us. Okay? So I'm gonna read 27 one more time, and then I'm gonna get back to the main precept. This is Sirach chapter 11 verse 27 says, the affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure. Right. So when you're afflicted, sometimes it's hard for you to remember what the fuck pleasure even feels like, man. But then it says what? And in his end, his deeds shall be discovered. Okay. So we're not afflicted for no reason. We're afflicted for a purpose. Whether it be to your demise, or whether it be to your to your upliftment, man. But this Sirach chapter 11 verse 21. Marvel not at the works of a sinner, but trust in the Heavenly Father and abide in thy labor. Okay? And that's talking about spiritually and physically. Okay? If a man do not work, he's not going to eat. Okay? And our main course of our action of working is putting out this information. Okay? Feeding the elect, feeding our flock, being diligent to know the state of your flock. Okay? That's our work. So it says what else? It says what? For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. It is an easy thing for the Heavenly Father to give you opportunity. You have to understand that the Heavenly Father has power to manipulate somebody's mind. He has power over spirits. He has power over opportunity. It is nothing for the Heavenly Father to grant you that opportunity and to grant you that the words to say in order to get to where you need to go. Okay? The power of you getting a job or not getting a job is in the hands of the Heavenly Father. All right? The power of you getting money and not getting money is in the hands of the Heavenly Father. Okay? But it's an easy thing for the Heavenly Father to do that. That's why I say our finances are in the hands of the Lord. Okay? And that's why we ought to keep primating the Lord, so that he can help us to flourish, so that we can continuously be blessed. Okay? So with that, I pray that you are edified through this epistle. I pray that the point was reciprocated to those who needed it, you know. And with that, I give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kakadash, Sheni Kabaga Wala Rakaza Konya Number Ice, Wa Shalom Wa Barakum Labakan Shayasha Allah. Shalom Yam. And death to America and Kwam Yasha Allah, man. The Heavenly Father is going to allow us to rise, man. I definitely wanted to say that. Kwam Yasha Allah, man. There's an establishment coming to our nation. All right, and it's going to be founded by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Whether it be finances, whether it be, you know, a living space, whether it be anything, man, the Heavenly Father is going to establish us, because that's essentially what the word Kwam means. All right, Shalom.